My name is Angie. I live on this property thanks to my grandfather. Edward Rutledge Ensey was his name, and my grandmother. My grandfather had a farm. Half of Hutchinson Island was his farm.
Wow.
They lived down in Jensen Beach up on the river. But at any rate, he sold his farm whenever all the kids had gotten married and, left to go to college. And he came up here and bought this parcel of property, which was not part of his family's property. It was another Stewart's, I think, had it at the time. I don't recall. But at any rate, he was born down the road in 1887, and he knew that it was warmer here than it was across the river. And people said he pulled a citrus grove out of here, and decided to plant mangoes. And people said, Rutledge, you have lost your mind. You cannot grow mangoes this far north. Well, Grandpa thought that he could, and he did. And now everybody has mangoes. But it's because we're between the two rivers, the Indian River and the Banana River, and it has frozen. My most recent memory was in 87, there was a bad freeze, and then 89.
Well, we've got freezing temperatures in South Florida too. So,
this grove froze back to the nub. A lot of these trees are newer because they died. But the big old trees, which Jeff will show you, the sunsets, the old Haydens, a lot of those didn't die. But at any rate, Grandpa, had the grove, and then my Uncle Ed got it when Grandpa died. Then me, and then my son. And fortunately, my son does not want to sell it and subdivide it. Yeah, he loves it. He worked here as a young, from I guess the time he was 11 till he was in college.
And still works.
And still works. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But at any rate, he's keeping it.
That's great.
I know, we're thrilled. A lot of our proprietary trees are named after. Tyler is a nephew. Austin is a nephew. Grandpa, that Rutledge tree over there, one of the best fruits on the property. So good, named after Grandpa. We have one in the back of Catali, which is, my mother's name was Catherine, and my daughter's name was Allison. And we had this name Catali for a while. We finally found a tree to put it on.
Oh, great.
And, and we have a pretty mango. Tell them about the
pretty mangoes on the road. Amazing fruit. It's just the way we named it. It's just a beautiful.
Seedling.
It's a beautiful mango. So
yeah,
we
the
call
first
it the
year it had fruit.
Yep.
We didn't know what to call it. We called it the pretty, and it's been the pretty ever since. Yeah, but at any rate, we love it here. It is, it's a blessing to be able to have this property.
Yeah, it's a piece of history, and then plus it's just really nice to have agricultural properties in places like that are,
where there's $3 million homes going up on every yeah.
So your grandfather, when he planted the trees, what did he do with the fruit?
Oh, he sold it.
Did he sell it in Orlando?
Oh no, honey, everything goes right out the front gate.
Because there weren't as many people around,
but they knew,
so they got here.
Word of mouth. And like he did have some years, my Uncle Butch also had a piece of property. If you drive further south, there's another large grove with mangoes. That was my Uncle Butch. And there was 3 kids, my mother, my Uncle Ed, and Uncle Butch. But at any rate, that Red's Market, over in Orlando area, would come over and pick sometimes. But for the most part, everything has been sold right out the front door. And my grandmother made jellies and jams and all kinds of good things. So at the time, there was a good many guava trees, and Grandma's guava jelly was to die for. And of course, then my mother took it up, and hers was to die for too. But they just enjoyed. Grandpa was a farmer. Oh, I got to tell you one story though. When I was a kid, back in the old days, Grandpa had old tires around the trees. And when it was going to freeze, and being a farmer all of his life, he knew when it was going to freeze. But there's 2 occasions I can really remember. All the grandkids, Grandma'd wrap us all up and come out and check on us and whatever. But we had to stay up all night and make sure it didn't catch on fire. But Grandpa would smoke
Yeah,
tires.
burn the tires. Yeah.
Yeah, burn the tires, and of course you can't do that anymore. But
yeah, they burn on that.
yeah. But I mean, there were you know, and at the time Grandpa had this, it was twice as big. It was 15 acres. My uncle gave one of my cousins a flag lot back there, and then he sold off the Ganabans, the house just south to us, and then there's another big flag lot back on the Banana River. So we really only have, including the house, about 8 acres left.
Well,
So
that's
now-
quite a nice chunk of land, though. It's
It's all we can do.
Yeah,
if we
it
had
is.
more than that.
Yeah.
Poor Jeff, if there was any more. But at any rate, we're thrilled to have you. I have got to go. I've
yes,
got
I
my
know
friend
you've got
in there.
a project going on and stuff. I appreciate
Good
you
to-
coming out. And
Well,
talking
thank
to
you
us.
all for coming. This is great because we do no advertising. We have little green flyers that we hand to our customers, and they keep them for the most part year to year because they mark the varieties that they like. And you know, it's word of mouth, and then they'll take 2 or 3 and give it to their friend or whatever. So we just, after, I think it's probably been 80 years that
We have generations of families coming to get
Yeah.
fruit. You know,
yeah,
from
yeah,
all
because
over.
people say, "Oh, I came here with my grandparents,"
Yeah.
you know, when I was young. So
So people just come through the gate and
no,
or-
we have a stand.
Oh.
See this stand
Oh,
right
okay.
here?
I got
We've
it,
been
yeah.
doing our dock had to have some repair, but no, they park on the side of the road and they just come in. They all line up, and we have a scale. We sell mostly by the half bushel, and but some people want, you know, by the pound. So you all take care.
Okay.
Thank you.
Much.
Thanks,
Nice to
Angie.
meet
All
you,
right.
Angie. That during mango season, this whole area along the fence is filled with cars, and some on the other side, which I don't really know where they park on the other side,
That's
but
right.
this is a very, very popular place. This is the place you want to go through right here. The gate to the fruit stand. So Jeff, could you just sort of describe
Sure.
what it looks like during mango season?
During mango season, I'll go get the ripes out of the grove first thing in the morning. When I get here, we open at 9 in the morning. We will label all our mangoes, have handwritten the names on every one of them. Then we put them in the basket. They're all culled through. They're all perfect down here. We sell by the pound or by the basket, and the basket's a half bushel. We'll have on display all of our varieties. It looks like a rainbow of mangoes out here in the mornings. And so Angie and I'll set up, and then customers are usually at the gate when we open up, and sometimes when we wake up too. And so we'll sell from 9 to 5, Friday, Saturday, Sunday we'll be open 9 to 2. It's usually on the phone all of our hours, but
Tell them about the Angie tree.
yes, I will.
All the trees to get blown away.
We'll get you a new one. Yes, our Angie tree over there snapped off during Irma. We had a little bit of damage during the storms, but not too bad. I brought back.
It's a lot of coaching here.
Yes, there's a lot of coaching here. So that's my boss. So yeah, we'll fill up this. We'll have the umbrella out. It's hot down here. And it's buggy, but we have people that sit out here, and everybody talks about their history when they used to come with their kids or with their parents or with their grandparents even. And we'll have the early varieties will be right in the middle, and then we'll put the the proprietals and some of the other ones up there, and they're all for sale for you.
So you said you have about 4 months of mango season that is pretty crazy?
Yeah, end of June, July, August, and into September. And sometimes we have the kids coming in late, and sometimes we've been open in the beginning of November. And I think this year might be one of those years, as we're having a late kid bloom. Yeah.
So the advice would be to check out the website
Check out the
starting in
website.
June and see what's happening here.
Yep, and call the number on the for the farm, and then we always have our hours. I update it every day, and we'll tell you what's ready and what we have down here. And sometimes we run sales. If we got a lot of certain ones, we'll go lower on the basket to 35 or something like that. But usually it's 45 a basket or $2 a pound.
Excellent. And just an hour away from Orlando.
Hour away from Orlando, 2 hours from where you live, I think.
Oh, it was a lot longer than that
Really?
today.
Yeah.
Had some rain down there.
Oh, shipping, yeah, same thing. Call the farm number. We'll return your call on that and let you know what we can do. We've scaled back a little bit. We do about 15, 20 baskets a week of shipping. So we'll do whatever we can. We'll take good care of you.
Great. Well, thanks very much, and
Thank
good luck during this next mango season.
Yes, it's going to be a tough one.
Looks like you're ready for it,
Yep.
but it's always a lot of work.
Yep, hard work.